this is Robyn and welcome to mypinkstamper.com. I am so happy that you're spending a little time with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I'm going to be copying from our annual catalog. Do you like how my catalog is so well loved? I look through this just about maybe 5 to 10 times a day looking for inspiration and just getting different ideas and checking out our stamp sets and our color combos. But I want to point out that our catalog's not just a catalog for product. You know, there is product in there. There are so many full colored ideas in there. A lot of them are very easy to, you know, duplicate, replicate, copy on your own. Some of them are a little trickier, so I thought for my copy the catalog segment this week, I thought I would pull out my catalog and pull out all the supplies that I think that they used to make this little pouch box right here. So I know we have a name for them. I'll have it on the screen. I'm just going to call it a pouch box right now. I'm going to do this one on page 17, and you can follow along. Now, looking at this, it looks super simple. It is actually fairly simple to make, and anyone could make it. They used quite a lot of product and quite a lot of different techniques. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how they made it, since we do not carry those. This is what we carry in the catalog. We carry these cute little boxes, these little, I'm calling them pouch boxes, but I'll have the name on the screen. These are super cute, but this is the only color we carry them in right now. And here is the sample that I made from the catalog, playing around and trying to figure out how they made it. And I think my sample comes pretty close, but I'm going to walk you through how to make your own custom box. And to do that, you just use one of these as a template. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am so happy to have you here. All of the product you see in today's video can be purchased directly from my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. And I will have all the items with the codes on the screen for you. If you would like to place an order, you are welcome to. Your first order that you place with me, I will send you one of those free idea books and catalogs as a gift from me with a hand-stamped thank you card, because everybody loves getting hand-stamped thank you cards in the mail. Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to do is take one of these and you're going to tear it apart. But once you have it apart, you can just keep it for your template. So I have it like this. So this is basically my template. So just tear that little piece off right there. This is the template that I'm going to use. So I have a piece of our Coastal CABANA cardstock, and you can't really fit 2 of these on here, so I was trying to do this so I had the least waste. And what I'm going to do is just line it up on here, and then I'm just taking a regular pen, just a regular ballpoint pen, or you can use a pencil, and I'm just going to kind of go across like this. I don't want to go in right there. I'm going to show you how to make that little custom little notch. So I'm going to do this and just bring it around. Easy peasy. See, anybody can do this. You're just making your own little template that you'll have as long as you want it, forever if you want it. Okay, that's all I need this for, but what I did want to measure is this part here, this flap. I measured it, and this is a 1/2 inch. So we're going to score it at the 1/2 inch, and we're just going to score it where these 2 indentions are. And so I'm going to set that aside because that's all I need that for. I'm going to pull out my trimmer, and let me go ahead and just quickly, I'm just going to cut this. Oops, I didn't mean to cut the end off, but that's okay. That's all right on this one. And I'm going to save this. I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. And just to make this a little bit quicker of a cut, I'm going to just cut that. And the rest I'll just cut with scissors, and I'll speed this part up. Okay, now I have my template, and I did accidentally slice a little bit, but that's okay because this part is going to be part of the box top, so it doesn't matter right now. All right, so I'm going to pull out my trimmer again, I'm going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to score again where those 2 lines or those 2 indentions are. So I have it scored here and here. And now you're probably wondering, how are you supposed to score this part? So what I've done here is, here's my other one. Since this is my template anyway, I just went ahead and cut this part off here. And then you can just put it back on when you're trimming it out. Or I meant lining it out, tracing it. But I just cut this, and this part is just my little template. So I have our bone folder here, and I have just put this, I have it backwards, I have put it on every end like this, and I'm just gonna do one. I'll do the others off screen. And I have just, with my bone folder, just gave myself a crease. I've made my own creases right there. Super easy to do. I will do the other 3 and I'll be right back. Okay, I have those all scored, and now I'm looking at my box and you see these little notches here. They're just on the shorter side. It's not as wide. And I have just taken my 1/2 inch circle punch, and I am just going to do about go in about halfway on each side. Remember, I accidentally cut off some of that. Okay, so I have my little notches. And now we'll go ahead and stamp. All right, I have a piece of our new grid paper. It's available right now. I'm gonna use that for background, just kind of up here. Otherwise it messes with my lighting. And I'm using, I think I just said, our Coastal Cabana ink pad. And the stamp set, actually the bundle that I'm using is the stitched all around. And I'm going to be using this little background right here. So the 2 stamps that I'm using from this set are the background, and then they're using the thank you. I say I'm using, but I didn't design it. They actually designed it. I already have them out here. Here's this one, and I'm using this with our Coastal Cabana. And I looked at the picture closely, and it looks like they kind of just have it as best as you can. You could probably use our Stamparatus if you wanted it totally perfectly straight. I'm okay with my images not being totally straight all the time, so I just have it like this. So you're just going to kind of see it up on the top and the bottom ish, and you'll see it on the back, of course. All right, so that is what I'm using that for. That's all I'm using. Or they're using the Coastal Cabana. Now I have some of our designer series paper that is in the Regals pack, and I just did mine at 1 inch, so I'm not really quite sure. So it's 1 inch by 6 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and score it at 3 inches because it looks kind of like that's what they did. So I scored it, and now we can kind of put this together before we do the rest of it. So I'm going to lightly fold this, and I'm going to lightly fold this too, like this, and it should line up like that. So I'm using our Terran tape right here, and then I'm also going to use some of our glue dots. I'll show you what I'm using the glue dots for. So I'm just going to put the Terran tape right here on the edge. I like to use our little, I don't know what that is on there, something was stuck. I'm just gonna, that's how I get mine off really quick. And then I'm just gonna put glue dots kind of on the corners right here and here, because that's where I noticed there was a little gap. So these are our mini glue dots. I use them all the time. I love the mini glue dots. They are just so good because you can kind of mesh them around, and they're great for adding all sorts of embellishments and such. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this flat here, and this should just line up, hopefully, because I'm on video, so it's got to work, you know. All right, so now I have that on there, and I have my little pouch box. So I'm going to carefully kind of push this part in that's scored. You see that? And so isn't this so fun, because you can really do any color that you have It'd just be so fun. The sky's the limit. So I'm gonna push that in there. Put your goodies in there too. You can always do your goodies. Well, how we're going to do how they have it, you want to put your goodies in first. So there we go. And that's kind of where I messed up a little bit, but you can't even tell. All right, so let's make the top part. So we have part of it done and the rest of it's going to look like that. So we're almost there. Let's see what we do now. We're going to take this piece here, and I have it scored at 3 inches. And it's going to line up like this. So let me go ahead and put our snail adhesive. I'm going to put all over this, all the way to the edge. And I'm also going to grab some of our glue dots and put them on the edges as well, just to give them a little bit, they kind of stay a little bit better, especially since it is not a flat surface. It's got a little bit of a curve, you know, because it's a pouch box. Pillow box! Yay! I couldn't remember what the name of it was, and I knew I was saying it wrong. It's a pillow box, Robyn. A pillow box. You're all screaming at the screen. Pillow box! Stop saying pouch box. Okay, so I have that on there like they have, and that's just like that. Just kind of lines up at the end. Okay, and now we're going to finish this up, and we're going to do a little more stamping. So we're taking a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is just a little scrap piece of Whisper White. And we're going to stamp once with the crushed curry ink. It looks like that was the color they were using. And I'm stamping the thank you right here. Now I'm going to be cutting 2 different items. That's all we're using the crushed curry for. And we're going to be using this stamp again. So you'll want to clean this off. And I'm using my Stampin' Scrub and Mist to clean that off. And I'm going to pull out my die cutting machine, and I'm going to put this on here. And we are using this one here. Actually, I'm just going to punch that. So I couldn't remember exactly how I figured this out, but I did. Okay, so I'm using a 1 1/4 inch punch for this part because it'll cut a little bit of it off, and I'm okay with the edges of the thank you being cut off. So this is 1 3/4 inch punch. And now with this extra part over here, I am going to have this circle on here from the stitched all around, or stitch labels. And then I'm also going to be using this label here that they used. And it looked like they used Flirty Flamingo, but they could have used another color. I'm not sure. That's the great part about when you're looking at the samples in the catalog. You can kind of mess around with the colors and do what you'd like to do. Or if you like what they did, do what they did, you know. All right, so that's all I need my Big Shot for. So I'm gonna set that aside. And I have these. I like to use my paper piercing tool. I just had it. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm gonna poke these little things out. You can also use the die brush. And this one, I will poke the little, let me just pop this out of here. All right, I have this all done. And I'm gonna carefully take this out of here. And we are almost done. Now I noticed, we can go ahead and layer this up here. I have some of our dimensionals, and I'm just gonna put 2 on the back of this. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right here on that to pop it up a little bit because it looks like that's how they did it. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to pop this on that one as well. Make sure that I have it so it will be on it and not off to the side. All right. Okay. And we're going to set that aside. Now I noticed that if you look in the picture, look at the picture, right here, that this looks like Coastal Cabana with white ink, or with white. So it looks like the stamp was stamped in Coastal Cabana. Well, it was actually embossed with our white embossing powder. So take a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock. I'm going to quickly clean off that stamp. This is our Stampin' Scrub and Mist. here we go. Now I'm using, this is our VERSAMARK ink pad. And I'm going to just swipe our Stampin' Buddy across here really quick. And now we're going to be using our white embossing powder. So you would never have thought when you looked at that sample, wow, there's a lot of steps for that. But I'm so happy that I'm able to share how to make it if you'd like to do that. And I plan on doing that with multiple projects from our catalog. So check for that at least twice a month. Okay, so I've stamped our VERSAMARK pad on there. Our VERSAMARK is a watermark pad, but it's also what we use for our embossing with our powder. So we have this, and I'm going to put the lid back on, and I'm going to pull out our heat tool, and I'm going to emboss that, and we are almost done with this little pillow box. I have our heat tool right here. I'm going to put it on the second setting. There's 2 settings. And just kind of watch it, it'll melt. There are multiple ways. Some of you like to move this around a little bit. Some of you like to heat from the bottom. This is how I've always done it. I just start in one spot and I watch it melt. And I go across. So however you do it, the result's usually pretty much the same. So now we have this. I'm going to let that just sit there for just a second. You don't want to touch it too soon. Okay. All right, it's good. So I'm going to be cutting above the thank you and below the thank you, just above the white line. So all that'll be getting cut off. And it looks like they have just a little bit of a homemade little banner edge. All you do is clip, clip. I'm using our snips, our paper snips for that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do on this one to add this on is I'm just going to cut one of our Stampin' Dimensionals in half. Let me find one of these to cut in half. Our mini dimensionals are a little too wide. Oops, put that on there. So I'm going to add that, take the back off. I'm going to add the other half that I cut in half. I used to cut Stampin' Up! Dimensionals in half all the time. It's just something I've done for years for smaller items. And then just put this right over where your thank you is. That's what they did. Super easy. See, now that you know how to do that, you can do it all the time. Or you can look at a project and think to yourself, oh, I know how they did that. Okay, the finishing touch is we're using some of this ribbon. I believe it's called our Tea Time combo. And what they've done is they've just put it through the bottom piece right here, and that's going to wrap around. So just make sure that you have it long enough, and then we can cut it. So I have enough up here and enough here, and now I can make sure this doesn't move. I'm going to put a little bit of our adhesive just on the back right here, just so it doesn't move. Stays in place, and then I'm going to run this through this hole at the top. This is so fun. Is anyone making this with me? Just grab some of your cardstock. Okay, I have that through the top, and then I'm going to take some more of our Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to actually do 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That shows my age. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're younger than me. If you do know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was from Sesame Street, growing up. Okay, and they just have that right here. And then this is just wrapped around, and we're going to make a bow. So this is how I do it. I do one, hold my finger there. I always do a square knot first, every time. Just easy to do. Well, I'm going to make it so it's not easy. Okay, there we go. I have my square knot. I have my loop-de-loop-loop. And instead of doing it the regular way, I do it just backwards. I wrap around, and I bring the bottom up through the top. And you just grab it, and you pull it through. And I have just a little tiny bow, or a big bow, however big you want to make it. And there is the project. So now I have 2 of these beautiful pillow boxes, and they are made just from copying the catalog. And you know you can make these too. Just follow along step by step. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. You can find me and more video tutorials directly on my website, mypigstamper.com. If you like what you saw today, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. Don't forget to hit the little notification bell so you'll be notified when I have a new video tutorial for you today. Or new video tutorial for you. Maybe not today. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.